Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Kundalini Conversations, conversations about your Kundalini awakening experience. And before we get too far into this week's understandings, this week's teachings, I would like to welcome Her Holiness, the Queen of Questionable Comforts, I should say Celtic Queen of Questionable Comforts, Santara. Hello, Santara. Coming into the red zone.
Hello, Chrism.
Hi.
I'm in the red. Hi. Hello, Chrism. Hello, everybody. Good to be here again on this Wednesday. So let me begin, as always, by welcoming everybody, and I will let you know where you can go to if you would like to make a donation to the work that is being done on Kundalini Awakening Systems. And the place you can go is www.ascension-kundalini.blogspot.com. And there on the upper right-hand corner, you will find the donate button. And all donations are gratefully received. As always, we will say every week, there is no expectation for anybody to donate. If you are not in that position, don't give it a second thought. If, however, you are in a position to donate and you want to donate, that's one of the ways that you can do it. There are some other ways as well. So if you would prefer a different alternative way, you can drop me a line at kundalinimatters@gmail.com and I can talk to you about alternative ways of donating. But here is the address again, www.ascension-kundalini.blogspot.com. Thank you, Chrism. That's my announcement.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to this conversation. Right now I'm broadcasting from South Lake Tahoe on the California side from the Pinewood Inn, the one-star motel. And it's a wonderful place. We have a nice room here, and so I'm broadcasting from South Lake Tahoe. And one thing I'd like to bring up about this area here and the quality of the water of Lake Tahoe is, as I've been taking students to the lake, and right now the lake water is about 35 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be about maybe 2 degrees Celsius. So I have to say it's not cold. For the average person, it's somewhat cold. For a Kundalini awakened person, it's kind of nice, actually. When a person goes in, a person who may say have a lot of entity attachments, this lake, the minerals that are, there's a lot of crystalline structures that border the lake. A lot of granite crystals, and granite crystals often have a lot of quartz crystals within them. But for whatever reason, let's just say a person will go in with 9 entities attached. They'll come out with 3. And so for those of you that may have an entity problem, I would, if you can make it out to Lake Tahoe, definitely go on the Nevada side of the lake, and there's a beach there called Nevada Beach, and you go ahead and you dunk your head, your whole body actually, under that water for about, I would suggest, on up to at least 9 seconds, if you can hold your breath that long, and if the chill of the water doesn't take your breath away, but certainly get your body, your head under the water, and you'll see what I mean about its anti-entity effect on people. And I just feel very grateful that I was led to this place, and that I was also led to this place with students that had entity attachments, and to be able to see them so diminished was a great blessing. So yes, so we're broadcasting from this beautiful area. Lake Tahoe is amazingly beautiful, and Santara, myself, and some other students, we spent some time, and there have been some videos that have been made here in the area. And if you do want to visit the videos, go to the YouTube network, and on that network, just put in Chrism Kundalini, And that channel, that Kundalini channel will come up, and you can peruse through about 313 videos up to this point. So I would welcome you to do that. We're also represented on Facebook at Kundalini Awakening ! In their group section. My page there is Chris Mitchell, and which is my non-Kundalini name. Everybody else knows me as Chrism because most people know me through a Kundalini format. And we have Kundalini Awakening Systems 2 there, Kundalini Awakening Systems 3, and Kundalini Healing that are all public groups. So if you want to just read or if you want to actively participate, go to those areas and either sign up or just read, because when they're public on Facebook, anybody can tune in, and I invite you all to tune in. Now, I cannot see the chat room because I'm on my iPad, and they're not. BlogTalk Radio isn't quite iPad friendly, although I'm very grateful that I can at least broadcast with the iPad. But I can't see the chat room. Is the sound coming through okay? Santara?
I can see the chat room, so if people just leave us know that. We've got Atlanta Seeker, Elizabeth, Guest 1132, MJ, Manisha. If somebody would type in that the sound is coming through okay, I can let Chrism know. I'll let you know when that's done, Chrism. Manisha is typing actually, so just 1 second. Manisha says yes, sound good.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Manisha, and thank you, Sarah, for coming in like that. Before I get too far into this week's topic, I would like to welcome Gonzalez onto the program. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello. Hi, Chrism. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Well, Elizabeth, do you have some announcements you'd like to make?
I do indeed. I'd like to announce the next seminar coming up, Kundalini at the Castle with Chrism seminar in Shaktipat with special guest Dharma Sound Kirtan, Saturday, May 9th and Sunday, May 10th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for registration, you can contact me, Elizabeth, at area code 360-732-7076 or email to Dalton Gonzalez, DAULTONGONZALEZ .elizabeth@gmail.com. And
thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Tell them about the week in advance. Where are we going to be speaking?
So the week in advance, there are 5 talks starting Sunday, May 3rd at Vision Quest up in Everett, Washington. And then Monday will be in Port Townsend at Phoenix Rising Bookstore. And then Wednesday will be at Manresa Castle in Port Townsend. Thursday will be in Seattle at East West Bookstore, and then Friday the 8th at Expansions Yoga in Silverdale. And then Saturday and Sunday back at Manresa Castle for the seminar itself.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And put me into the sheet of blue. I would invite everyone who can make it to these seminars to definitely come. And Kundalini at the Castle, if you look at Manresa Castle in any of the pictures that Elizabeth has produced, to let people know about the seminar, it's a very, very beautiful venue. They've almost shut down the whole castle just so that we can have the seminar and the kirtan there with Dharma Sound. I think it's going to be a tremendously positive and a very strong experiential experience for the people who come. And I do invite all of you who can possibly make it. And I invite all of you who can possibly not make it, but may somehow make it. Come to Port Townsend and let me meet you. And let Santara is going to be there. Rosemary is going to be there. Elizabeth is going to, you're going to be surrounded by Kundalini awakened men and women, and I think this really, for a person who's new to the experience, who is new to the Kundalini, this is going to be a very, very, very healthy event. And so I really encourage anybody who can make it to make it. And you contact gave you at the beginning of the program here. So okay, let us just gently segue into the topic today. The topic today is what you can get from the Kundalini. What are your wants and your desires and the things that you want, the things that your ego is driving you forward, the survival tools you need, the career tools you need. What are these areas, and how are they affected with Kundalini awakening context? Let me tell you first thing that Kundalini is the strongest power that a person can have, and it's the strongest power that can have a person, and that's very, very important to look at it. Kundalini can read your karma. It can read what it is that you have done in your previous lives. It can read what your pattern of probabilities are. It can see what vector of approach that you're making into those patterns of probabilities. Patterns of probabilities are basically a menu items of what your choices are bringing to you in this life. So where your spiritual awareness or your spiritual unawareness is leading you from an intuitive level. So, are you living in a certain area and you just kind of felt drawn to live in that area? Are you living in a certain area and say the Kundalini is drawing you away from that area? Are you living in areas where you're not finding anything is working for you? And what is it that's holding you back? What is it what level of fear is getting in your way from allowing the Kundalini to help you achieve what it knows you can achieve in this lifetime? One of the most difficult things that people in the Western technological cultures can really initiate is change. Change hits a person hard. People don't want to change. They're happy knowing, who's next door. They're happy knowing, how to get to work. They're happy, and even that satisfaction within unhappiness will just nail you to the floor. And you'll just keep hitting your head against the wall expecting something to change when all you're doing is really just messing up the wall. And so I want to discuss with you today what are some of the understandings that can be given to you from your Kundalini with regards to what you want and why you want what you want and how you're going to get what is your want or you're wanting, what is you're not going to get what it is you're wanting. First, I would like to give you the guest call-in number. You can call in at United States area code 347-934-0026. 347-934-0026. Okay, let's get into this. And please, for those of you on the chat room, please let Santara know if my sound starts to go, crazy or whatever. I mean, I have to say that has been acting up really strangely lately. I don't know if it's just had too much Kundalini or if I need to take it to the Apple Store or whatever, but just kind of keep track on the sound quality, would you? And if we're having a problem, I'd like to fix ASAP. All right, here we go. As I mentioned before, Kundalini can read your karma. It can read what your probabilities are and what vector or level of probabilities your intuitive soul choices are leading within a Kundalini context. If you've come into the Kundalini and let's just say that things have been going really well and then all of a sudden things just crash. Things just crash. If you're a salesman, well, you're not making any more sales. If you're an engineer, well, you're not being able to make any more proposals. You're not even your mind's not even on your job, and you know that this has a Kundalini vector within you, well, that's just something that's kind of indicating that you need to change. You need a radical change. Before it gets into, say, something of a fragmentation context, you need to recognize what is going on. You need to look at it from a, first of all, look at it from a patient point of view. What's your nutrition like? Are you keeping yourself healthy? Are you keeping yourself happy? Are you keeping your Kundalini healthy and happy within you? What's going on with you? Go ahead and make that intuitive discernment. Don't start making radical life changes until you know that you are indeed taking care of yourself, and yet something else is coming to you and saying, change is required. Well, if that is occurring, then make that change. And for some of you, this is going to be very, very difficult. For some of you, that change is going to be of a relationship level, a marriage. I've had Kundalini students who just, as they go into the fragmentation, because he will sometimes leave you no option, you're going to go into that fragmentation no matter what, which means that anything that you want, everything that you want isn't going to happen, and you're going to get slapped down in almost every way that it can slap you down. And one of those ways is your marriage will need to be changed. Your marriage will need to be, in some cases, disintegrated. Not the easiest thing. The easiest thing. Scenario is because Kundalini is that divine energy. It is that divine consciousness. It has total control over how you are in your lifetime. As itself is awakened within you, then you will have to have that reorganization of the marital agreement. And here's the deal. Typically, you won't be in disagreement that, this hasn't been working for a few years now, and Kundalini is saying, well, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to leave that environment. You have to move somewhere else. Say, if you're in the north, Northlands, maybe you'll have to move to somewhere warm. Maybe you'll have to be single for a while. Maybe you'll have to be just there for the Kundalini for a time. Okay. Look at these things. Look at these things. And here's the deal about getting what you want within this context. What you want within a fragmentation context is what the Kundalini wants. You just have to be strong enough and secure enough in your Kundalini equation to be able to recognize it and act upon it. No matter what is at stake. Nothing is more important than your Kundalini equation. And I know some of you already know this. Talk to Santara, you talk to Elizabeth, you talk to Rosemary, you talk to Steve Schumacher, you talk to Julia Rainier, you talk to these people. They know what I'm talking about here. You talk to Magdalene. She knows what I'm talking about here. These are some of the people we've had on the show in the past. Except for Steve. I don't think Steve's been on the show yet. So it's very, very important that you begin to pay attention to what your Kundalini wants you to have and to bring your wants and desires around to what the Kundalini wants and desires for you. It's not typically going to give you that brand new Isuzu or whatever it is, Veloster or Porsche or Corvette or some rich car. It's not going to do that. Typically, sometimes it will. I'm certainly not going to limit it. It can do anything it wants with you, and if it sees that you need that new car, well, it will get you that new car. You guys know, the listeners know that I needed money, and my buddy was telling me to go to the casino, and I wasn't going to go, and she kind of made me go. Came to the $8, walked out with $5,400. So it can happen. It's just not a typical vector of response. Typically, the Kundalini will not lead you into casino. I've been driving past these casinos up here in Lake Tahoe, and I've been taking students into the students
Chrism?
You know, and I tend to feel
Chrism?
Yes.
And you're completely going off your voice. It has been a little bit coming and going, but okay, not enough for me to interrupt you, but just now it's very bad.
Huh.
Oh, well, now you're back again there. Say something.
Maybe if I talk slower. Yes, hello.
Perhaps.
This is Chrism. This is Rasta Chrism. Hello, man. You know, you're from the islands, you know. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not great, I have to say. Manisha is saying as well that the sound is bad where she's listening to it. How about the mic? Can you adjust that? Is it?
No, you know, the iPad. Huh. Let me check the connection here. I got a good connection. How about if I get closer to it? Maybe that's... How's that? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Any better?
Yeah, perhaps it might be. What happens is after every 3 or 4 words, there's a sound. But I think, yes, that might be better. So proceed, and I'll come back, Chrism, if it's...
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Centaura. And thank you, Manisha. This is the Rasta Chrism coming to you live from the Lake Tahoe, talking very, very slow. Okay. So, yes. Sometimes I will take new students to the Kundalini into a place where they can feel entity attachments, knowing that I can get rid of them by exposing them to Lake Tahoe. And it works. And, you know, they feel it. They're developing reference points for what it feels like to have an entity attached to them. And by having that reference point, you know, a tactile feeling reference point, you're able to discern when an entity is actually attacking you. So, but getting back to the wants and desires, the further you go into your Kundalini awakening experience, the further you go into your surrender, the further you go to, if you have a flesh teacher, into that trinity of interaction with the Kundalini and the teacher the Kundalini has given you and yourself, the better off you're going to be with regards to having those things or having those scenarios, whether it's a job or a partner in life or a career or money or position within a job. I mean, you name it. The further you go into your Kundalini awakening equation, the better things are going to be for you. This requires very strong levels of surrender, as I mentioned. One must surrender so totally and so completely to Kunalini. What I have with my private students is I have them say a special mantra that the Kundalini has given me for them to say. And it's a terrible, terrible mantra because it doesn't allow you anything. You must give yourself in every facet of your life, in every expression, in every thought, action, deed, and understanding. You're required to give of yourself in this way. But the payoff from doing this can be very, very strong as well. The payoff is a tactile sensation of Kundalini awakening within you, a tactile sensation of completion, of love, of actual energy within the spinal cord, therefore the spinal column, and therefore the Ida and the Pingala as they circle around the chakras, and therefore upon the neural system of the body. And it can be quite strong at times. It is telling you that, yes, indeed, I am Kundalini, and the Kundalini is me. And where I am, it is. Where it is, I am. And you can go into your Kundalini journey with knowledge and with conscious intent and conscious understanding, which immediately begins to work on any kind of fear, control, or entity attachments that you may have that are pushing fear. You have recourse, knowledge now. So really, if you're looking for $1 million, you can ask that. If you're looking for a new sports car, you can ask that. And I'm going to send all of you over to the radio program that we did with Rosemary in Minnesota about the power prayer. That really is how you're going to use Kundalini to get what you want. But you're going to have to remember that it's a Trinity agreement. You will have to make agreements with your Hipili, your ego, your Uhane, your higher mental function self, and your Amakua, the Kundalini awakened consciousness, the two that are one. You're going to have to make that understanding. You're going to have to make that agreement. You're going to have to make that effort. Very few things come for free without the effort of at least asking for it. With the Kundalini, it wants you to get into it. If you want power out, you need to put some power in. And while I'm on the subject of power, Sandra, how is the sound? If you could tell me. So I've definitely taken down a notch as far as the speed with which I'm talking. And if you could somehow come on and tell me about
I'm here?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the sound is better, much better.
Manisha?
Yeah, Manisha says, not good, but okay. Yeah, that's yeah. It takes effort. It takes effort to listen, but maybe a 2-hour show is too much, Chrism. I think we should shorten it.
I agree completely. So thank you for that. Let's see here. Let me see if I can fix it. Stand by a moment. Okay, let's see if that works a little better. Manisha, keep us advised, would you please, my dear? Thank you for your help with that. So it will be an hour show, but it is an important hour. It's an important hour. Let yourself have an understanding that Kundalini wants you to have what it is you desire, but knows that the more important thing, rather than your desires, you need for enlightenment. That, even though it may not be a desire for you, in the Western cultures, it seems so far away. If you belong to any of the main belief systems in the West, it's not a part of what you're going to be offered enlightenment. Christianity will not offer you enlightenment. It offers you heaven, but it doesn't offer you what Jesus had. Where Jesus, wanted you to have what he had, but things got changed after he passed. Kundalini itself will give you levels of enlightenment. And this goes far beyond what a sports car could give you, or a huge bank account, or having power and position within our society can give. Kundalini wants you to be successful, but it wants you successful on the terms of divinity, not on the terms of mundane concepts. Think about that. And because it's turning into a short show, I would like to ask Santara to come on, if you would. And
yes, Chrism.
You have questions that you've.
Chrism, I'm thinking. I think maybe we should finish the show now.
That bad, huh?
Even as you asked me there now to come on and go for the questions, it was really bad. I've just asked in the chat room, do they think we should end the show? Manisha is typing. Sometimes it gets really bad. You're doing okay with just an odd word here or there, and the next thing, wow, the sound is not really good. How come Santara's sound is good? I think, Manisha, it's because for some reason I've noticed when Chrism is traveling, I don't know why it is, but this seems to happen.
Well, now, come on. It's not
my
always.
Sound is okay because no, but it is mostly when you're traveling. It seems to be the case. I think that happens as well, not just BlogTalk. I don't know why. You're not next to anything electrical, are you? The last time you were in that area, you were, I think, the same problem occurred.
I'm next to my iPhone, and I'm next to another computer. Let's try it there.
Could the other computer be moved?
I just moved it, so let's see if that's really. Things improved, and we can decide whether we're going to terminate previously on whether it was electrical interference. So I hope Manisha is right now. I'd like to answer.
Chrism, I can hear nothing of what you're saying. Just the odd word. It's really bad.
See you next week. I'll be in the house. I'll broadcast. Santara.
Okay, Chrism. Okay, everybody. I don't know if you got that. Chrism says next week he'll be at the house, and sorry about this, guys. See you next time, next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.